Andy left us a few minutes ago to start getting ready. Olivier is hopefully ready at his screen. So hopefully we can get the visual up on screen in a second here of the two teams, and we can start talking about what they both have to put on the table. It's Wood Elves for Olivier Dulac against Andy on Necromantic, who, of course, you know well, Jim, because we haven't mentioned it yet. You might have played them in the last round.
Yeah, I love that you keep bringing it up. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a tough. I think it's really tough for the elves. Really tough for the elves, and especially with Olivier, he's taking the sidestep catchers and the frenzy dancer to help with one turns, and Andy's got 2 stand firm, Andy's got 2 sidestep, so it's really tricky to get the one turn. And I played him with elves and it was tough. It's really tough. Andy's really
well, both of them brilliant coaches, but also we've been talking about this matchup. All three of us were having this conversation in the green room before we started, and I think both you and I feel that Necromantic are quite a tough ask for elves because they can use that guard on players who are really hard to hit, the foul appearance on the wraiths and the flesh golems. They can use that guard to lock you out of the ball a bit. But then Olivier, who's playing the Wood Elves, apparently he thinks it's quite a good matchup for the Wood Elves because, of course, you have still got Strip Ball and Ghouls. Well, we'll see on the roster in a second. They don't start with Sure Hands, and Andy doesn't have a Sure Hands Ghoul.
Yeah, you can't really afford the Sure Hands, right? You need the block or the wrestle in Diomed's case because he's got 2 Ghouls. I feel like it's tougher for the Wood Elves. I think Olivier might be a little bit biased by being so good with Wood Elves. I think maybe he hasn't made the correct call there, but who knows? Maybe it does favour Wood Elves.
And it's interesting as well because you talked about it at the start. Olivier was surprised us by not taking Skaven. Olivier's best team, we think, is Skaven, but he's very good on Wood Elves. Necromantic is 100% Andy's best team.
Oh, yeah. And the experience really shows as well with Andy with Necro compared to Andy with something else. Like, it really is next level with him. He puts everything perfectly, nearly every turn. Very few mistakes. Certainly against me, he only really made 1 mistake in 3 games, which is crazy. Like, that's absolutely out of this world for Blood Bowl. So, yeah, I think it's going to be real tough for Olivier.
I think that gets the philosophy of the teams as well. I'd love it if we get the teams up on screen now because I'd love to talk through them and what we're looking at. But I think there's teams for whom it's even more important to not make mistakes. I think Necromantic are one of those teams, whereas elf teams can sometimes be about, you can risk a mistake to be aggressive.
Exactly, yeah. Elves can do whatever they want and fix it with 2+, can't they?
Sometimes. So this is Andy's Necromantic build. Necromantic are one of those teams, Jimmy, where you have to make a compromise somewhere, and I guess Andy's compromise here is that he's only gone with 1 Ghoul.
Yeah, well, honestly, I don't really feel like this is a compromise. I just feel like Andy's team is better than Diomed's team. I'm very surprised that Diomed went with 1 Wolf and 2 Ghouls. In the Euro Bowl 24, you could have 2 Ghouls as well, and that was just obviously better, right? A Ghoul is obviously better than a zombie. Everybody knows that. And I mean, this is incredible, right? The 4 guard's great. The weakness is only having 3 rerolls, and so that, and that's the weakness against Wood Elves, right? You need the ball picked up. But when he played me, funnily enough, in those 3 games where he won, he never failed a pickup, or he just caught the kickoff. And so, if that uses your re-rolls, then you can get into trouble and stuff. And yeah, as you say, strip, he's got no counter to strip ball whatsoever, so he can really come unstuck.
And as we were alluding to there, double guard golems, double guard wraiths, block on those. It's the classic build, this, I think.
It is, yeah. It builds itself. I really, I always end up talking more about Diomed's build when I look at Andy's build because this just looks perfect. Like, why would you change this? It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I guess, again, the only compromise I can see here is that you haven't got the Ghoul. You've got 12 players, so you can even lose a zombie. That's not a big drama. You've got 3 rerolls. Everything is pretty locked down. If we take a look at Olivier's Wood Elf build, I think this is a much more controversial build. I've had the chance to chat with Olivier about why he took this build because he came and did a masterclass after his series with J-Lev where they both talked through some of the decisions. A jump up tree, which is using a secondary skill, which is a big surprise for the choice. 2 sidestep catches, also a fairly surprising choice. Just the 2 rerolls, that means quite a few unskilled linemen on the team as well. And then a strip ball ward answer and a frenzy ward answer. Jim, we've talked about this a lot, you and I. You like the sidestep catches, you don't like the jump up tree.
Yes, yeah, I love the sidestep catches actually. Olivier plays Skaven, I think, because he values, gutter runners so highly, and the one turn is just incredible with them, and so he's really built into the one turn. With the tree man, with stand firm, the 2 catches with sidestep, he's got maximum one turn protection, and he can do one turns well with a frenzy dancer as well. So he's really built into the one turn, and I like that. Of course, versus Andy, he's very likely to come unstuck because Andy has 2 sidestep and 2 stand firm. So, a big lot of the build is not working for him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But and the jump up tree, maybe that'll be good. Maybe it'll just get clawed out of existence instantly.
Yeah, that's the risk against claw. And knowing Andy a little bit, I certainly know he's not afraid to go after trees. I've seen him do it before in games against Wood Elves. Whether he will in this game specifically, I don't know. Maybe he'll look at that jump up and think it isn't worth it. Maybe he'll have some different idea. You can never completely predict. But I do think stylistically, if you're not familiar, because a lot of the audience won't have seen all these games as we have, if you're not familiar with these coaches, Olivier he's a super aggressive coach, isn't he?
Yeah, madly aggressive. It's great, and it's the way you need to play to beat Necro, I think. And it's funnily enough, here we go, the game's starting. I kind of built up, I had a plan in my series versus Andy to build up the aggression game by game by game. And I came into it, but I didn't actually end up in full Olivier mode by the end of it. But for me, that was cranking my aggression right up, and it still wasn't as high as Olivier's. So we will see it from Olivier, I'm sure.
Well, let's get into the game then, Jimmy. If you've got the game ready for us on the screen, then let's have that up so that everyone can watch it. I don't know if the coin toss has happened yet. Are we missing?
No,
do we know who's got the toast yet?
Okay,
sorry. I wasn't sure because I can't see that screen right now, so I wasn't sure if we were there. But we will get into that in just a second. Really, really excited for this one. I know this is one that the audience is looking forward to as well, because obviously everyone knows Andy, and Olivier is such a fun coach to watch.
Yeah. Olivier's just won the toss and chosen to kick. So
here we go.
Here you go. And I do think I think there's a strong argument for it against Necromantic. They can fluff the ball handling. They've got 3 rerolls. They don't have block on the flesh golems, and that is the weakness in this matchup specifically, is having guard on the flesh instead of block. There is an argument for either 2 block flesh golems or 1 block 1 guard, and this is where it can come unstuck, is having the block with them, having the ball handled correctly.
Just on the jump up tree, I think interesting because he is in chat. Jalev played against Olivier in round 1 of the knockout phase. For anyone who hasn't seen it, that was, I think, one of the most fun series to watch so far in this tournament. And his feeling from that was the jump up tree was so annoying because I can't let it roam free, so I have to fight it. That was Jalev's feeling playing OWA against it.
I would have definitely just stuck a dwarf on it and hoped it didn't die.
Left it to its devices.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Andy's approach with it. The thing with the jump up tree is that it still takes root 1 in every 6 actions, the same as a normal tree, which I think is probably the argument for staying away from it and just not fighting it at all.
And maybe the argument for fighting it. I don't know. I would have definitely not gone near it. Like normally I see a tree, I walk away. Nearly every team can just walk away from a tree, and I really want to walk away from it when it's got jump up. So,
well, it's almost like Olivier knew what was coming, because put the Edge 3 team on offense, get a short kick, and then the rain. That is a horror start for Andy, I would say.
I'm so jealous right now. Why couldn't this? I had 3 chances for this.
Yeah.
And Olivier gets it instantly. So the first turn is pretty obvious here. He's going to block, and then he's going to 3-dice blitz the sidestepper. But he's got a lot of problems with the ball right up here. Only 2 squares after he picks it up. It's rough, real rough. Yep. Wow, what a start! What a start for Olivier. He should still be able to get the ball into like a Wenger bus formation. Interesting
interesting observation. Right after we said we think Andy might fight the tree, he definitely hasn't.
Yeah. It might have come from just the way the setup was for Olivier, but no, I mean I'm sure he could have just got the hit 2 into 2. So I'm honestly surprised Andy didn't. The 2 into 2 hit was there, with the frenzy and stuff. So flesh golem here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It is right away like an aggressive setup from Olivier, isn't it? That second bank only being 1 square back instead of being 2 squares back is the thing that's caused Andy to at least think about it, and in this case, not do it.
Yeah, I mean, I would have gone for it, and I'm surprised Andy didn't, honestly. Very surprising. Oh yes, the 2 minutes time bank is a visual bug. That happens sometimes. I've got no idea of the reason for it, but that is a bug that happens. They do both still have 7 minutes 30 of additional time.
There's some Kemri chat in chat saying 4+ pickup. For some of us, that's just a normal pickup. Well, true enough. And with a reroll, should succeed 75% of the time, but I certainly would not want to be the one rolling it against Olivier Dulac. And Andy has not made it without the reroll.
Prioritised it before the blitz. Very surprising, because the blitz is only a 1 in 27 to fail. So I would have definitely blitzed first. Because, it makes your position stronger, doesn't it? Interesting. Interesting. I'd go so far as to say that was a mistake after him making none against me. But, I guess it just really wanted to have to use, he really wanted the reroll to use in the pickle.
Andy just knew how often I was going to bring it up, so he made sure he didn't make any.
Yeah.
I mean, the tree just gets... I don't know. I feel like Olivier's going to blitz the tree straight onto the ball here.
I think he might, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this was Andy's play to sucker the tree into a massive claw hit.
Yeah, a few people asking, not marking the tree. Could have been pretty tempting to stick a zombie on that, right?
The problem is, wherever you mark it, he can follow up, right, after he hits. And he follows, if you put him on any of these, he follows up in a good square. If you put him here, he can just block him free with somebody else. Put him there, he gets blocked free by this one. So you've only got the first 3 squares, and then he just follows up to a good place.
So Olivier does not go for the rowdiest straight in with the tree blitz. Powers a flesh golem instead. This is what I think, from my perspective, and it seems like from your perspective as well, Jim, is so difficult playing elves against necromantic, is a good coach like Andy will not offer you good blitzes, right? So this turn... Generally, okay.
There was a guy here he could have blitzed.
There was. And I think that might be actually being less brave than Olivier about the situation. It might be what I would have gone for. But the flesh golems are horrible to blitz because you've got to put 2 assists onto them as an elf team, and they might not fall over.
Yep.
And the wraiths are horrible because you have to put 1 assist onto them, and you might not even get to take the block because you've got 1 in 6 chances to fail the foul appearance. So it feels like a really rotten decision most turns. And this is what we talk about.
All in. Instantly.
This is what we talk about, chat, when we say Olivier is aggressive. This is not what you would see from every Wood Elf coach to immediately put full base across the whole team.
No, and it's like high risk, high reward, isn't it? That's the thing, and you do need the high reward versus Andy. If you just try and get moderate risk, moderate reward, you're probably not going to get the job done. So, wow. Doesn't even hit the Wraith there, scared of a really good sidestep, I guess.
And what we talked about in the last game over and over again was the 1 in 9 risks. Is Olivier just trying to bait out a 1 in 9 here with a reroll already gone and then put Andy in that really scary spot of having 1 reroll for the whole drive?
I think so. I mean, this is generally how Olivier plays every game, right? He faces everything. And now everything's difficult for you all game long. And, if you make a single mistake or if you have some bad dice, you're in a world of hurt.
On the other hand, if elves go pop, the world of hurt is flipped over.
Yes, I mean, I would like to see that happen more than it does. Personally, because I feel like this kind of play it's just like, it's so frustrating to play against, right? So you think, I should be killing stuff, why am I not killing stuff? And you just usually don't, because that's I think people's perception of the odds aren't what they actually are, right? So you expect to hurt a lot more elves than you are actually meant to hurt. And that's the thing, and yeah, this is real tough for Andy, instantly really tough. This was the idea with Olivier, right? With these 3 concentrated was the weak part, which is what Andy went, which I didn't like that Andy went for this at all, by the way. But it was obvious what his plan was. But he's disconnected 3 guard players from the rest of his team, so now he's stuck trying to reconnect them now. And this guy's away with a fairies completely. Completely out of it. I don't know why this zombie is so far away.
Now, my French is not what it should be for filming this here in France, but I think Justicium in chat, if I've understood correctly, is saying this is not at all the plan that he was expecting from Olivier, and possibly they had a practice match, and this is not what he did in the practice match. So perhaps we're going off script here already from Olivier Dulac's perspective. Justicium, if I've... Oh, apparently my French is correct. Good. Okay. So...
Andy 1Ds, gets skulls, and oh my god, it's just instantly things can happen.
Oh boy.
Wow.
So obviously we have a player on the ball, but you're not taking that hit because right now that's an uphill 3 dice against blodge.
Yes, yeah, that would be a terrible hit to take, but you know, he could surf the wolf. It would be like a 1 dice into a 1 dice if you put in a sidestepper here, which he could probably get. So you could put the sidestepper there and he could make a 1D into a 1D, but then, like, you know, he'd have to jump out or something. So is it that valuable to surf a wolf? Probably not. He'll probably think about it for a few seconds and then not do it, but he's got, you know, he can knock this guy over. You can just make a lot of blocks, get in the way a lot.
I mean, you also have a 3+, 3+ for the 1 dice on the ball.
Oh, he's taken root. He hasn't got the POW, so now we've got no hit on the ball.
Well, you do, because...
Oh, if you go in the
3+,
back
3+,
way,
just go around the side. 3+ leap to the left of the zombie, and then, it's a 4+. No, 3, 3, 2. Do you see what I'm looking at?
I mean, you can always hit. You could leap there and then 3-3 out that way. I just don't think he will.
I don't hate it. The push direction's pretty good. It's not ideal, but you're pushing in the direction of the mess.
Yeah. I mean, you're right next to the tree, which is great, isn't it?
Yeah. Like I think...
Not clueless, Dimmy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, rush. I just didn't like it, personally. I much preferred coming in from this direction.
Oh, we're going to surf the wolf instead.
How's the Wraith?
We're going to surf the wolf instead, which is also pretty nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is... Everyone here who watches Andy Davo knows that Andy is a fan of surfs, but I'm not sure if he's going to be such a fan of that one.
Yeah. I didn't even need the sidestepper anyway. I thought he needed the sidestepper there, but he doesn't need the sidestepper there at all, does he? Because he's protected by his own player being dead. And the leap away is nice, isn't it? Andy gets to hit the fleshy as well.
So a tiny part of me thought, is it worth taking the boat down there? But with an armor 8+ piece, probably not. You've got other things to do.
No, I mean, Andy's in a world, like, this is horrible for Andy.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He's getting outbashed by Wood Elves instantly, and it's his best player. So, yeah, no, you definitely don't want to raise the risk at this point.
And just to bring us back, like, again, like, this is the upside of Olivier's super aggressive approach, right? Like, if things go wrong for the offense, you can just pile into it and make it so horrible for them.
Yeah, they don't have to play bad. They can just roll bad, right? And, like, you know, you can say, I mean, you could tell when Andy, you know, he blitzed the sidestepper, didn't he, with a wolf? And you could tell after the second hit, you knew he was like, oh no, I've messed up here. And he just couldn't afford to dodge away because he'd already used a reroll. So, I mean, that was a mistake blitzed by Andy. And he got punished to the full extent. And, yeah, I think surfing the wolf is better than just... you know, rolling a whole load of dice to try and 1D the ball.
It's an oversimplification, but still true, isn't it, Jim? To say you just don't ever want to be down on players against Wood Elves.
Yes, I mean you don't want to be down on players versus anybody.
Yeah.
But versus elves, it's like so much worse. Any kind of elves, because they're like kind of costed, so that they're getting outbashed, and they're like their abilities are such that if they're down players, they can still win. But if they're up, it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous if the elf team is the one who plays.
The tree does look slightly vulnerable here. Some Cheeky Jimmy's saying in chat. The thing is, I don't know if you want to hit that tree because it's rooted.
No.
If you unroot it, it's back to being a jump up tree. If you just do your best to ignore the rest of it, you might be able to get away from it.
I mean, if Andy was going to hit it, he would have hit it on the LOS, right?
Yeah.
So there's no way he's going to like take random hits on it now. So does he not use it, the fact that it's taken? He's surely not using dodge, right?
I love that headbutt animation.
Yeah, it's great.
So good.
If
Instant Apo on the KO, so the Wood Elves use their Apo to stay at 11 players there.
Yep. If Andy had got the push, he could have surfed this player, but he didn't get the push.
He can surf it now. There's nowhere for it to go.
Yeah. I was thinking this was the sidestepper. Oh my god. It's got sidestep up there and he could have still done it anyway, but it's not even the sidestepper.
Even with sidestep, where could it go?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was thinking. Well, normally it's not, but he's powered it, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, and a Kaz back after the Apo's gone. Well, this looks bad. This looks real bad. Still for Andy, but maybe that is a lifeline.
Removal certainly will be welcome, put it that way.
Yep. Apo gone into badly hurt is glorious, isn't it?
And another armor break. And a couple more armor breaks as well, which does reduce the ability for Olivier to keep the pressure up.
Yep.
Although having said that, I feel like there's a Wayne on the ball right now.
Yeah.
If you knock over that Wraith front right.
Yeah, sorry, he could have served both of them. Yeah, he could have served both of them, yeah. But he Apo'd the KO.
Big zombie. Yeah, this is what I was thinking. Just dodge the zombies away now, because if you fail it, fine, they're back next turn.
Yep.
And that tree's not going anywhere.
You could have even thought about rushing the other zombie in and then dodging this, but that's a bit ludicrous, right? So yeah, this was much better from Andy. And he has shored things up here.
Easy zombie dodge. They always seem easy against me, zombie dodges.
Tree does not get the knockdown. Surely he's not going to sidestep next to the tree. No, he goes away from the tree.
You could come around for the red dice strip ball. 2+ dodge, another 2+ dodge. Maybe a rush, I'm not sure, but it's uphill.
I think he's going to wait now till turn 6 or 7, right? I think he's going to cool off the aggression as much as it will pain Olivier. I think he has to quiet down for a few turns now.
I'm curious to see where his blitz is this turn. Because if you're not going for the ball, where is it? And this is back to that same conversation as before. Nightcrawler just don't give you a lot of nice blitzes.
No, they're so annoying. And yeah, you know, it's not everybody, right? There's a noticeable difference when you play somebody who isn't as good as Andy as somebody who is as good as Andy. And I had some practice games, and one was versus Diomed, and that was nothing like the other 2 practice games that I had. So, yeah.
Goes the 1 dice there and gets the POW. But that is... Oh no, hang on, that's not the strip ball piece. So we are still keeping that strip ball play open. That was a no block 1 dice POW, which I'm certain Andy right now is not happy about.
No. And it's funny because if he was going to 1D the, you know, like if you're going to 1D the zombie, I guess, is he going to try and surf the zombie or hit the ball? I don't know.
Oh, if you 1 dice again, you could surf the second zombie, maybe. I do like that you force, someone's just said it, you force the Wraith to step back onto the tree with that hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's nowhere else for it to go.
But if that was your goal, you'd have just blocked with a strip ball, right? So it's weird that he's...
Oh, we're going for the ball. It's highlighted in red. You can see it.
Yes. So yeah, 2 + 3 +, isn't it?
Or 2. Oh yeah, it's 3, isn't it? Right.
And another 2.
Puts the reroll in. Can't put the second reroll in, can you?
No, it's his last reroll. I don't think so. I wasn't a big fan of the blitz on the ball, I'll be honest. But when I say that, I hated it.
The thing is, what does Andy do now?
Surf the dancer?
Oh yeah.
If I was a betting person,
Oh, yeah.
I would go for that as an option.
Bring the wolf round, 2 blocks, ghoul block. Off it goes with the zombie at the end.
Yeah, I think that might be. But you know, it might get him into trouble, so he's going to think about it, because it might leave him in trouble doing that.
Cheeky Jimmy stuck his whole mortgage on the War Dancer Surf. The thing is, again, like, I was trying to work out if I would go for the ball there, and I honestly don't know. But it's just what I was saying to you before. If you don't go for the ball, where is your blitz? And I was looking at it going, I just don't see a blitz. Like,
wow, what a surprise. He gets the power. He might just take the power. Nope.
would he
Don't
take
be
the
silly.
power? Yeah.
Don't be silly. He's not taking the power. Now he basically has to hit with a ball, right?
Yeah.
So this is a problem, is how does he get the fill? So he can't hit with the ball, he can't get the fill. He just didn't think this through, did he?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, God, yeah, you really have to dodge a zombie, don't you?
Yeah.
No, you can dodge the wraith. So you use the zombie at the front kicks out the lineman, which frees up 1 wraith. And then you still need someone else to come fill, so you have to dodge the second wraith off the tree.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely... Given you had a POW, it starts to feel a bit...
Yes. You have... Yeah.
And there's the 1 in 9. Oh, that's with the zombie. Ooh.
Now he just takes the
Andy,
pow.
take the pow.
Oh, no. Disaster.
Not if he removes it.
Honestly, I think he should have taken the power of the wolf. And it's easier to say now, but it was a hard one. He got the surf
Perfect
anyway.
surf, yeah,
He got the
perfect.
surf. Well, not perfect. He cost himself... He's down to 1 reroll already on offense.
Getting a lot of armor breaks, though. Wow, last few turns.
Yeah. Well, they are AV7, and he's given a lot of hits away,
Yeah.
as Olivier.
Yes.
This is, by the way, Andy should have already moved this flesh golem. Right?
But that's...
He was maybe going to dodge this wraith, so...
That's a huge removal, because strip ball off is the
Yes.
biggest threat to the ball.
Yes. 1 reroll is really, really worrying, though.
Save for the power when the removal's going to come, Christopher. It's just exactly how Andy drew it up.
Yeah, this is... whew.
There's never a dull moment in Olivier's games.
True. Yeah, the rooted tree is really hurting him now because Andy has got past it.
I wonder why Andy didn't dodge that last zombie off it. Does he know it's rooted?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he just wants to hope that Olivier will 1 in 9, but then you don't really want Olivier to 1 in 9 because then he'll jump up next turn. So, yeah.
This is into a 1 dice. No, it's not. It's the tree. Talking rubbish.
Gets us stuck. He is going to hit with the tree.
3 dice.
I wonder if he'll take a 3. I wonder if he'll take a both down. There's an argument for it, isn't there?
There is. That's such an interesting thought. Do you want to knock yourself over so you can get back in the play?
Without jump up, he wouldn't dream of it, but it does open up a line of fire. Oh, he snakes, so
I
we'll
never find
know.
out. Diced. Us being diced.
And Andy is not sitting on the floor at 25. He has his own room with a PC set up.
To peel back the curtain, actually, for everyone a bit, there was a conversation about should we put Andy on Scream for everyone because it'd be fun to see him, but it wouldn't be very fair because, of course, Olivier is not having to play on stream, and it's a little thing, and Andy plays a lot on stream, but it's an extra pressure having everyone looking at you while you're trying to play. So
For sure. No, I would have been 100% against that if I was Andy.
Tree being biased for elves at least a little. I can't help it, Ramen fan. I am an elf coach. I love the elves, but I also love Andy. So I'm trying not to be too much pro elf, but do you like the elves?
you know what? We could have dressed Andy up as a zombie. That's a great idea.
Well,
We had an expert.
oh my goodness, yeah. So our aforementioned amazing makeup artist Morgan does special effects, so she could even have helped us get Andy in a full zombie outfit. Although, just to bring this up, wasn't sure when this was going to come up this weekend, Jimmy, but I'm certain that I and several other people watching one of your streams heard you say that you would be up for wearing the halfling chicken cheerleader costume at a certain point.
All of us, not just me.
I don't know, you might have volunteered for me and Andy. We didn't volunteer, but you definitely volunteered for yourself in the...
Oh, no. Andy now realises this was a terrible idea to leave the zombie on the tree. No, definitely not just by myself.
Chat, how do we feel about the halfling chicken outfit and Jimmy in it? Just want to get a gauge of how chat would feel about that. If chat would be for it or against it. I just think it's an interesting question to ask. Seems like it's more positive than negative so far. I don't know.
This was a frenzy trap, wasn't it? Because he would have just simply chose to not stand firm. That was a 2D into an uphill.
Yeah, it was.
And he dodges out. And
another snake. That's actually really big. That's left a gap for him to go through.
Huge, because now we get to surf this lineman. It's turn 6, so get to push up, get to surf, probably. Yeah, really good. I guess you have to block with a middle wraith, right? Because if you block with this one, he could sidestep to there, so you have to block with a middle wraith. But yeah, he should be able to get a surf here. Yep, so he does block with the correct piece for a removal, which is incredible because now that frees up that square to go in.
I don't know. I feel like the armor breaks have been good for the Necro here.
Oh,
there is a lot of basing, but they definitely
good.
feel like they've been good.
They've definitely been good. The problem that Andy has now is obviously he wants to surf, but
this is so mean, but it's funny.
He's got to protect the ball still.
Cobblestorm says the problem with putting a chicken outfit on versus Andy is that he'll try to eat you. Oh my goodness. Well, I feel like Andy is just gradually exacting revenge on Olivier, having the audacity to surf him.
Yes.
It's like, excuse me, I'm the surfer here. My game.
Yeah, the problem is now he's got a little bit of problem with protecting the ball, but I still think he had to do it.
Yeah, Baron Bucky. Look, 2 snakes already in the game is unfortunate for Olivier. He definitely has not rolled a number of dodges that would make that the likely number of snakes.
Yeah.
So my only question here, because this is now looking very favourable for Andy, there's not many elves on the pitch, but it is turn 6. Are we in any time jeopardy here at all, or not really?
Well, I'll be able to answer that for you next turn. But yeah, I mean, turn 7 is the critical one, isn't it? Turn 6 is the critical turn for the elves, and turn 7 is the critical turn for the necro. If there's a gap, if Olivier leaves a gap here, Andy will take it on turn 7 and bust through and get into a really good spot. So yeah, I learned that turn 6 is the critical turn for the elves on defense. It just looks like you can't do enough, right?
It's just not enough players, are there? Oh, and they keep rolling ones.
Oh my god, double ones
third
again.
snake and another removal. All right, yeah, this is pretty rough for Olivier now.
Yeah, so yeah. He could surf this lineman. Now, if Andy was playing Cladder, I forgot you used to call it Cladder. If he was playing ladder here, he'd definitely go for the surf. He might not consider the surf at all now, right? Just move out here and get the ball safe. Number 1, but he could have like blitzed back into the wolf, and then the wolf surfed up the side there. It's probably what he'd do in a ladder match.
Typical Blood Bowl game going on.
Brilliant play from Andy, letting ODL remove all the
Yes, smart.
Yeah, he gets to foul the dancer now as well, doesn't he? No deaths yet for the Wood Elves, which is very important if Andy gets to go up to 13 players.
Mm-hmm. But what else? Capped on 9 for the second half is rough, because this is already looking like a position where Olivier has to think about playing for a draw rather than a win.
Oh yeah. There's no win on the table here for Olivier at the moment, but you never know what might happen next turn. But yeah, so there you go. Andy gets in 7 away, making his safe moves first. All the safe moves before doing the Wolf Blitz. So yeah, absolutely not what he'd do normally. He'd 100% go for the serve, I'm sure, if this was a ladder game. But Andy playing properly is a lot different. Gets the knockdown. That does leave him in contact with this guy, which it's good from a control perspective, but it's bad from a, like, you know, getting surfed next turn if he fails this foul.
Definitely the right choice to foul that as well. You've got a spare zombie, why not?
Yeah, I mean, you've got no choice now by the blitz direction, right? You've taken away any choice that you had. Like, you had to foul him now because you've just let your wolf get surfed otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he hadn't done that, if he'd just blitzed from the other direction, then I would have still fouled him for sure.
Cauliflower invoking Blood Bowl's rule of W. If it starts with W and it's on the floor, you foul it. War dancers, werewolves, water runners.
Fair enough.
What else? Oh, witch elves. That's the other one that I think people put in that. Witch elves, werewolves, and war dancers. Oh my goodness, Olivier dropping the emote.
Wow.
The dwarf, frustrated dwarf emote. Weird wigs. Vampires, definitely. Vampires, you definitely foul, yeah. Maybe wraiths. Yeah, wraiths actually do start with W.
Not like water runners.
Water runners.
Wat ogres, yeah.
Wat ogres.
Oh my goodness.
Well, this is the one turn which there can't happen, but there's at least another set of KO rolls. But yeah, if those all stay out,
that's really bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Andy made his.
Of course.
And then, oh dear. This is real. I mean, this is no one turn. There's no one turn here. And there could be a timeout. And he could score with a timeout. It's possible.
Yeah, definitely. You've got 2 movement 8 players on the pitch with dodge. Wouldn't be easy still, and that says how bad it is for Olivier, because you haven't even really got the right number of players to recover it. And
I mean, there is an argument for 3 zombies on the LOS. It's so hard, this. 6 players, movement 8, no sidestep, no frenzy. Although there is a frenzy, but not really right with 6 players. So, yeah, I think probably just set up to stop against the riot is probably the best play, or timeout as it's called now.
You would be absolutely kicking yourself there if you left it possible and Olivier did it.
I just can't see how it's possible.
Quick snap.
Yeah, it's still so difficult. Like, it's so difficult with 6.
Yeah, 6 it's already a bad number.
You'd really be kicking yourself if, like, one of these flesh golems dies to a tree block as well.
Here's one thing I will say, again, people watching this. If there was anyone in this tournament who, not saying he can fix it, but who I don't believe would panic in this situation, I do think it's Olivier. He got himself in some pretty ridiculously bad looking spots in that series against J-Lev, and he just kept finding answers, right? So
yeah,
he's not gonna freak out that it's going badly.
Ooh,
it is going badly.
Let me just check. ODL check. Oh no, okay. Yeah, he's. Oh wow, look at this, runs around with blitz on the wolf.
On the wolf that has a bonus armor up as well. That's just an extra kick in the teeth, isn't it, for that one hit?
That's for the whole match as well, isn't it? So this kickoff result that we just had was the cheering fans into
Iron Man.
Yeah, into Iron Man Wolf, which is the whole game, right?
I think so, yeah. I think that's because the press and will have different outcomes. Most of them are just for the drive, but I think Iron Man is one of the ones that sticks for the whole game. We'll find out in just a second. Oh, still bad KO rolls for Olivier. 7 elves was the war dance that came back at least, so that's a small something, but That's 1 out of 6 KO rolls.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Wow.
We could have pressed Clay, J Black main, but we can see now it's still there. So you're right. We could have pressed K.
Yeah, I was trying to read it in game, but sometimes the focus shifts. But yes, it does. It does say last until end of match.
I wonder if there's any chance Olivier looks at this with 7 players and goes, I can't do an 8-turn drive with 7 players. Maybe I go for the quick score and hope my KOs come back.
Maybe, but I think he'll try and Daka and just try to get this, because I'm interested to see what he does, because this just looks like an Andy win, right? And Andy has to make sure of the win at this point, because he's diced him, right? He's diced him. He's rolled 3 snakes. He's rolled 1 out of 6 KO recoveries, and he's made 2 first half
casualties. Yeah.
This is the game that you have to win in the series now, as Andy. You have to win this game 100%.
Is it a comedy mega?
It's not a comedy mega yet, but that first half was definitely a dicing.
Yeah. Dagger isn't great against Necro. I agree with Corner. Of course. Just after Andy, Jimmy answers whether it's a comedy mega. We just throw a blitz on top as well. Why not?
Yeah. Maybe a comedy mega. You can start with everything based as well.
Yeah.
You can actually just base the wolf dancer now.
Olivier dice slack.
Even if it's a touchback, you can start with literally everything based. So, yeah, this is really tough. Really tough now. It's not over, but it's really tough for Olivier. The thing is, if you go for the quick score, I just don't think you win with 9 players. Like, he didn't defend with 11 players. Is he going to defend with 9?
He did lose the strip ball quite early in that drive, though. And the other thing that, I'm not saying he definitely should, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here to give you the other side of it, is Andy has to do a 4+ pickup again in the rain.
Yes.
And that is genuinely a way sometimes you can win with elves, right? Like, your opponent just fails to pick up in the rain.
Absolutely. It's possible. It's possible that Olivier still wins this series, but this game is looking really, really, really bad for him right now. Like, the quick score isn't easy. Like, people saying the Daka isn't easy. The quick score isn't easy, so at least the Daka gives you, a chance to win, draw the game if it works, whereas a quick score, you're still looking at a likely loss, right? That's the difference ultimately. If your quick score works, you're still likely losing. If your Daka works, you've won. Well, you haven't won, you've drawn, but that's a win for now.
A draw from here for Olivier is a win, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a touchback.
Yeah.
Well, that helps.
Yes.
And makes me think the way he's moving right now that we are going for a quick score.
Yes, it makes sense because Andy has completely obliterated Andy's defense.
Yeah. Frenzy Ward answered, blitzes with the ball, kicks through, and now presumably what happens next is that catcher snakes its dodge to try and cover for it.
Yep.
This is still quite hard to get safe.
Yeah, Andy probably should have moved this wolf central, right?
Well, that's the one thing with the new blitz, isn't it? You only get the 4 players.
Yeah. I still think you should have moved him. That should have been 1, right? If you're moving 1, then you've got to move the other to cover the space that he's left. Basically.
I explained that poorly. Andy got to move 4 players because he rolled a 1. It's technically a D3 plus 3, but there were 4 for Andy, so he didn't get to move all of them. But yes, also Jim's point. Yeah, Jimmy, what Soku's saying, I completely agree with. Olivier is, you can like or dislike his style, but he's not a coach who tilts easily. Like, I've watched him not tilt in some pretty bad spots, and again, he also streams. You can see the way his demeanor is. He's not someone who does that easily, which I think probably part of that comes from the experience of having played a lot of games, especially on teams like Skaven that lose players a lot, right? That's things you're used to happening.
Yeah, true. I mean, he's #1 ranked in the NAF and has been for ages, hasn't he? So
yeah,
it's no surprise.
It did win the last Eurobowl together with the French team.
So Andy's got a double rush to hit, which honestly, that's probably better for Olivier, right? That Andy goes for that. Because it sucks out a reroll for the inevitable Andy drive. So I think Andy probably shouldn't go for the hitting the dancer. He should just...
let this happen.
Yeah, cut off and make the stall impossible, right? The stall and switch back and all that kind of thing. Just try and control the field as much as possible. There's no stall on.
Yeah, because the recovery is so bad, isn't it? So Starfire is saying it's true. Like, the recovery is not... It's not here.
Non-existent unless you pick up with a Wraith. Which isn't the best.
You'd have trouble doing that. You'd have trouble picking up with a Wraith.
Yep.
I've noticed that. It's a bit like how I don't know if you play this on Undead and Necro, my ghouls never regen. The Wraiths will never pick the ball up for me. It's weird.
Never lucky.
Never lucky. Did Olivier win the Dawnbound World Cup? I don't know on that. It was a French team. No, apparently it was the other one. The other one. There were quite a few French teams, but I think it was 2 French teams on the top table in the last round. France produces quite a lot of good Blood Bowl players. And here we are in France.
Well, there you go. Andy just gets the full pow. No rerolls required. Thank you very much. Wraith
it went up to the Wraith. It didn't catch it. They never catch it, chat. I don't know what it is.
They're almost a good ball carrier.
Almost. Is it a comedy mega now, says Connie?
I still don't think so. I still don't think we're at comedy mega, but that was pretty brutal. Andy can dodge double rush here, right? A line of 3 on the ball. That's really strong in the rain.
Chameleon mega.
Very good. Full pow.
Full pow, because why not? Armor break, why not? KO, why not?
Yeah, we are venturing into comedy mega territory, yeah.
Oh, it's rough as well for Olivier that this is the frenzy one and not the other one next to the ball.
So Andy does put in a reroll there. So this is like, although this has gone great for Andy, it is also verging on bad, right? Because he's spent a reroll on this. So like if it ends up not working out, it's worse than if he'd not used a reroll.
Wraith
again.
Oh. And because it's a rain, this is a 5+ pickup if you go for it as Olivier, which I think he will. I think you've almost got to, even though it's unlikely, just still try and score.
Yeah, you have to.
Because you've got, once again, 4 players on the pitch or something.
Yeah, he has to try this.
Just in case there's anyone missing our jokes in chat who doesn't get it, Wraiths don't have hands. And makes it. There you go, some elf dice. There you go.
Yeah, so there you go. So that kind of does work worse for Andy than if he just hadn't, if he hadn't made the blitz at all. Does get 2 more fails. So now he's made 2 out of 9 4+s on KO rolls.
Which is terrible, but if there's any silver lining, the one that succeeded is the strip ball again.
Yes, he's got a chance here. Yep. But Andy, with plenty of turns, can play very sensibly. And, he should be okay, but anything can happen. Even uphills with strip ball is still dangerous.
Koala in chat, elf BS. I think the elves are allowed 1 turn in 10 of a little bit of BS. I think they're allowed to have 1 moment. Andy plays sensibly. Listen, here's the thing. Sat here, you and I, Jimmy, we're looking at this, and there's no question, right? This is very favourable for Andy and not for Olivier. But if you're Andy right now, with 400 euros in the line, you're not feeling comfortable, are you? You're thinking, I'm going to fail a P++ pickup.
No, I wouldn't say I'm feeling comfortable. I'd be feeling very focused and just like, do not mess this up, right? Like, that's the thing. But you'll be totally in the zone, locked in, and, you'll completely different to if he's playing a ladder game, right? Like, this is completely different. If you're playing ladder, now you might make a mistake and not care too much and blah, blah, blah. But now, officious ref.
It's an elf. Of course it's got
It's a
an
stunned elf. Yeah, so he's just got to be sensible.
Mm.
And he will be. I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't make the surf before. He was already sensible in this game. So, yeah, he's
Mhm.
definitely just going to, you know, surround this by loads of players, guard, everything, all the safe moves first.
This setup, Jalev's just mentioned it, and I was just thinking it. We're talking in the unlikely outcome scenarios, but Andy did leave open if you get a blitz on the right of the pitch there. That's one of the few disaster scenarios it's possible.
Yes, yeah, I'm surprised that he did that. I would have probably had this Wraith over the other side, holding the flank. And then, you know, just blitz and block and not bother about the blitz from somebody else. So I would have personally given that up. I would have had this Wraith over there, one Wraith on either end, and then blitz with a Wraith and then block with a Flesh Golem.
I think it's definitely unlikely. All these things we're talking about are unlikely, but the lose scenarios are unlikely, so...
Yes, yeah. If there's, you know, normally against Olivier you can lose other ways than getting blitzed on, but not now. You can't. Now you have to really think about these niche things that give him a chance, because at the moment he's got, you know, slim and none.
I'm still panicking if I'm Andy about this pickup. I'm still certain if I'm Andy in my own head that I'm going to roll a fail on the pickup and then the elves are going to elf on me. But Jimmy, with a cooler head, reckons that Andy will be.
I mean, I would have a full head here.
Easy 4+ pickup, nothing to worry about.
You've seen the rest of the game, right? You know what's going to happen.
True.
Olivier would somehow kill one of his own players going for the pickup. I actually don't like this from Andy, because it's leaving the tree on its own, right? Like, I would have definitely just stuck a zombie on the tree. I would have 100% stuck a zombie on the tree.
Cause yeah, I'm thinking to myself, are we ruling out rush to blitz that cage corner with the tree?
No, double rush to hit the ball.
6+ dodge in.
If he fails, he's in the cage still, and he can jump up next turn.
That's exactly what he goes for. That hit on the cage corner and gets the pow.
Yep. That was like 3 2+s to even make the hit. So pretty lucky by Olivier.
Well, that 6 could also have been, that power could have been a 6 dodge into the cage, just saying.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That I didn't like that blitz because it was, you know, so much had to work. You've got to not take root, you've got to not foul appearance, and you've got to not fail the rush. That was a lot of dice to get that off. You know, I mean, it's still completely a dicing, you know, don't get me wrong. Olivier's allowed to make the odd roll.
I think it's... The more desperate your position is, though, the more you have to just try and roll some things that are unlikely.
Exactly, yeah. But, like, this is the Olivier way, right? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it was lucky for Andy. It was very lucky. Like, it has been a dicing, but this is how Olivier plays, and this is the risk that you run by playing the way Olivier plays.
Yes, definitely. And all Olivier's previous opponents go, why couldn't he roll those ones against me?
I wonder if Andy's going for the tree now. He might have to.
I would think he wants to, doesn't he?
Yep.
See, that's a scary roll right away. That was... We saw a 181 in the last game. No block on that.
Yep. A blockless block. Ideally, he'd clear this dancer, but he just can't. So this dancer's in a super annoying place from Olivier there. Like, this is the thing, you know, like, you can talk about basing things and stuff, but, like, you've got to do it in a good way, right? And that's a really good one, because he'd love to put the fleshy in the back there. And he gets the hit, doesn't break AV.
So now you have to move, because it's going to jump up.
Yeah. And there's still the strip to think about.
And we don't need to keep having a discussion about is it the right thing to have, not the right thing to have, right? But it's still just that is what the jump up skill does for you.
Yeah.
Like whether or not you think it's what they should take, it's doing something.
I mean, it's a great skill. Like it's
Yeah.
a great skill to have on a tree. It's fantastic. The problem is it's costing you like 2 dodge or a dodge and a wrestle on your linemen. So they're also great things to have. But I mean, there's no doubt that a jump up tree is way, way better than a tree without jump up.
Yeah.
I think he's thinking about the board now.
Such a banger. It's a very important question. Very important question, Jimmy. Because I can see Andy isn't. Is Olivier on... Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Fails the loner, and that really might be GG.
It's certainly really good for Andy, isn't it? Now he gets a
Yeah.
claw blitz and he gets packed cage, H cage.
Was that not the blitz? Was that the 4+ jump up hit?
Yeah, I think he did the jump up, yeah. Yeah, jump up 4+ or 5+ with.
So he rolled a good dice to then roll some bad dice. But that's kind of interesting. So then what was the plan? Was there hit that and then you got to go in with a strip ball? You could have got a 1 dice with strip ball if that pushes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if it powers.
If it powers,
Yeah.
then you've got a 3+ leap in.
Yeah. It's worth a go.
Yeah. You don't lose anything by trying unless you dub skull.
Unless you dumb skull. So what I was going to ask, very important question, Jimmy. Am I right thinking these are the default colours for the Wood Elves?
Yes, they are. Yes, unpainted
Aw.
Wood Elf team.
We don't like that in the World Championships. Andy has put the effort into customising his team, putting the colours on. So maybe that's where Olivier's losing just a little bit of the
Slippers
equity
of
in the game. Yeah.
Same with Andre with his Imperial Nobility. They were unpainted. Very sad to see the unpainted teams, honestly. Lack of effort. This is a little bit dodgy by Andy because he really should have made it so that he could have, just done the blitz last. And he's moving these players first. And okay, he's not even going to blitz with that wolf. He's going to blitz with the other one. So that lets him get everything done first. Oh, okay. This I'm not a fan of. This is greedy banger Andy. Now, so this is the thing, right? It's not bad, right? It's absolutely not bad. But it's greedy to an extent in that he's getting a stronger position out of doing this, right? It's just a little bit less safe. So it's, he probably still should have moved this first and this first anyway. Like he probably should have just do these safe moves, right? Should have just done those anyway. But it means that now if he makes this block, he's got this extra guard through and that guy was base and stuff. And it is better. And he's even getting an extra hit and this guy has to go in the cage. Some way.
Oh, I mean, every time I say something, I'm like, okay, but it's still pretty safe because of the guard. But I think, again, because the situation's so bad, this might be a try for the ball.
Yeah. It's like this is pretty decent in the front here.
Yeah, Andy has given you like an extra step there. You can't jump straight there.
Yeah.
But if you get it, push directions. Oh, it's still not that great, but it's something.
Yeah, no, it's not great. Like this
Yeah.
thing, like it's still really easy for Andy.
Just takes the block. But yeah, when you said you've got to put that zombie on the edge of the cage, I thought that's where it could have gone, is on the right of the cage, but Olivier didn't go for it anyway. Double rush. Oh, it's just 1 rush.
Might go for the second.
Just-
No, you've got to keep 3 people based.
I wonder if, like, I'm just trying to think what Olivier is playing for here, because my first thought is it's got to be at some point you go for the ball. And now, looking at this, there's a part of my brain asking, does he think he can force Andy in before turn 16 and score a 2-turn back to draw? But I just don't think Andy would go in, because...
No, I don't think he can do that. I think he's just hoping to like pull the guards away from the cage if he can, pull players away from the cage, and then maybe get a 1D or an uphill with some kind of recovery.
Yeah.
It sucks, and it really sucks having to wait and wait. He's got to wait and wait because he's got to just hope and hope that something can happen.
Most agile tree, second most, I guess tree is more agile. I wouldn't count on me, Ramafan. I wouldn't count on me.
It depends how you judge it, right? Because for a tree to be able to move even 2 squares is a pretty agile
Right?
tree.
Yeah, super agile. I mean, I can get up most days, so, so I don't have to roll a 4+. But I don't know if I jump up necessarily. It's more of a slow, complaining rise after the alarm clock glows.
This is really looking like this zombie should have been 1 to the left, shouldn't it? That looks like it would have been the best square now after this tree's come in. Didn't really think about the tree coming back up. Guess Andy didn't by the looks of this. This is enough to say a mistake here from Andy, I think, getting the tree on 3 players. He is going for the wolf blitz. Almost guaranteed to knock it down.
Yeah.
Decent chance of breaking AV as well.
That's it. What's really nice with Necro, which I see Andy do all the time with those frenzy hits, is you can use the stand firm of the fresh column to just make sure you're not going to push yourself anywhere you don't want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, that is like Necro 101, right? Like that's what's impressive about like Andy and Diomed is just how they use the guards so you can just never hit anything ever. Basically, is that what it feels like?
Yeah.
You know, you've got the fleshies that you don't want to blitz, you've got the race you don't want to blitz, and they use them to protect the zombies. So you don't want to blitz them either, and you just end up in a nightmare. But this stun is huge now because you can get away next turn.
Well, if it wasn't stunned, probably Andy would go somewhere else if it wasn't stunned. But if it wasn't stunned, you could chain push it onto the ball. But
yeah, you would have definitely gone somewhere else.
Yeah.
1 into 2 here with a guard. Doesn't get a knockdown. This was also a little bit greedy from Andy, right? The double rush instead of the single. But you know, works, pays off. Again, that's the thing. Like those little things incrementally make it easier, don't they? Like so, like they are a little bit greedier, but they get a little bit more payoff. And it's not bad to say something's greedy. I think people misunderstand me sometimes when I say that's greedy. It's just a little bit more risk for a little bit more reward. He's not just adding risk for no reason.
I think some of the best players are really greedy sometimes. It's just about knowing when to be greedy.
Yeah.
I think if you're never greedy, actually, that can be a weakness too, right? Like if you never take those opportunities to give yourself the best outcome.
Well, exactly, and that's what I was trying to allude to with my series versus Andy, right? Like I wasn't going as you know, as high intensity as Olivier. Like it was beyond, you know, my usual risk profile, but it wasn't up to Olivier's standard. And maybe if I had, I would have won. But you just never know, do you?
Fortune favors the brave. No risk it, no biscuit. That's what I always say. Chunter's never greedy. Never.
Chunter once fireballed his own gutter runner when he was winning 3-0. Like that, I think is crazy. Not just greedy.
And did it work?
Of course it did. Of course he knocked down everybody else and not his own gutter runner.
Oh, we're going for the ball.
Yeah, the bad thing about the H-cage kind of formation is, first of all, he hasn't got it on both sides, and second of all, this does leave like a good push direction.
Yeah.
Though he's got the side step there.
Oh, second time this game, it's been the both down that's got him.
Oh, and he is out of rerolls now, Olivier, and almost out of hope. I mean, it's not over yet, but this is, you know, it's so diabolical now because he's definitely getting his stripper knocked over and fouled. Well, not definitely, but
we're into Olivier needs to see a quad skull territory, aren't we?
Yeah, basically, or a hexaskull, actually.
Maybe. All these things happen sometimes. I have had an opponent roll hexaskulls against me in real life on the tabletop.
Wow.
With a halfling tree man against Underworld, which felt particularly awful because obviously, like, that was Underworld when they were most obnoxious, and halflings need to get some breaks. And poor Cornish rolled triple skull, re-rolled triple skull. So all these things happen sometimes.
Yep. So things can happen, right? Like Andy's got a nice wall here, but none of them have blocks, so he's going to have to make a blockless block to clear the other two, but obviously he's going to delay that. there's an option of just blitzing with a Wraith here, because then that frees somebody instantly, so you've got 2 players free. You know, this is probably the best. Honestly, just blitz with a Wraith is probably the best decision here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't even need to move the ball. Then you can just block this guy, then move these 2, and then move the ball. So he's blitzing with the ball. Oh, so that gives him the better push direction. Well, arguably the better push direction. Now he's reliant on clearing these 2 zombies.
Mm.
So now the 1 in 81, which is, again is unlikely, but it really kills him. In fact, not just hurts him. Oh, he's not. Doesn't. Yeah, he's got guard. Like, so again, he's got a stronger final position, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 up there. So it's worked out for him because he didn't 1 in 81. And you know, this is the thing, right? You can't just constantly live in fear of 1 in 81 chances. But you know, I think some of us would have done that, and you know, gone for the less good route.
Mm-hmm.
For the reliability of just making sure it gets done.
The only thing left here is if you don't power this, Olivier's going to try again.
Yes. Yes, that is the downside of this. We only had 4 dice on the dancer.
Mm-hmm.
But Olivier is without rerolls now, so
yeah,
it's a 4+ in.
Well,
so
probably now without the reroll, you take the 5+ dodge.
Yes, yeah.
Because of the built-in dodge skill.
Yeah. I mean, it's 55%. So
yeah,
it's still
a small,
yeah. Depends if you use your dodge and stuff. And you might just go straight for it, right? Because it doesn't have to do the 3%.
Mm. We're getting some bad beat stories in chat now that it's come up. Told this story many times. The Chaos Cup several years ago, my Khemri against Woodies. I had the opening hit of the game on turn 1 with a block tomb guardian. Roll triple skull into triple skull. Then on the first hit of the second half with the exact same tomb guardian. Sounds like that tomb guardian needed firing, Spider. But well done on getting the win despite that. That sounds horrendous.
Mm. Is Necromantic better than Shambling Undead?
We've stripped the ball.
He's done it. He's done the 4+ leap. He's done the uphill hit. And now, and this might be a draw or even a win for Olivier.
It's possible. It's not likely, but there's a catcher down there if you pick it up and roll a 6 and roll another 6.
Yeah, it's not super unlikely at all.
It's quite unlikely.
It's not that unlikely though, is it? Like without any rerolls,
yeah.
Sure. The rerolls is the killer here.
Yeah, it
if
is.
you had a couple of rerolls, this would be fine. It would be high percentage chance. Ridiculous.
What would you go for here? Because I was thinking at first you use that frenzy war dance to clear, but actually your dream scenario, if you're not throwing right now, is probably to be carrying on the bludgeon, hoping.
Yes, yeah, I think
so.
Pick up on the bludgeon, yeah. Get the I would have got the catcher out here as first, as a scoring threat, and then or maybe assist the hit on the wolf.
The thing is, that's like, yeah, which is better to have that as the extra scoring threat or to take that as a hit. Yes, Antic, best of 3 series. This is game number 1.
Oof.
Tactical burning of the 1 on the tree. Love that strategy.
Brilliant.
So yes, nothing will be decided here. This is game number 1 of a minimum 2, maximum 3 game series.
Yes, best of 2 + 1. That's a good way of calling it, I think. You could even dodge out, punch the wolf, and then run up and hand it off, but then you get him faced by it, because that would stop the 3+.
Just go straight for the dodge and snakes again.
Yeah, well, I don't think he snaked, right? I think he popped. Did he not? Oh, no, he did snake. He didn't pop dodge on the 3+.
Yeah.
He just snaked.
Did do a 3+ first, yeah, but still another snake to add to the list.
Yeah.
I think puts them at 4. Second half, a lot fewer snakes in the first half. First half, 3 snakes.
I think I prefer dodging here, see if you pop dodge, then dodge there, and then go there, and then you can punch the wolf. And then you've only got 1 2+ with the dancer. But I mean, it would still fail, obviously.
The thing is now, and this is what has been the thing all the way along, it's not likely, but there is a 1 in 4 chance with a reroll that Andy fails his pickup.
Well, do you know what I hate from Andy? Was that block. I would be blocking onto the ball and getting scatters to just try and catch it.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And he's still got 2 rerolls, so he's thinking he's still like 90% to score, to be fair. You know, because he is.
Yeah.
You can finally foul the strip ball now as well. Like now he's in a super strong position.
Realistically, you've got 4 goes picking this ball up, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, and if you pass any, you win because you foul the dancer afterwards.
We've got an I wouldn't have done that count in chat, which I've been ignoring, but it's now up to 15. Listen, we're here to commentate. We won't always be right, but we will have to give some opinions, otherwise it'd be very boring, wouldn't it? I'd say, from my point of view, Jim probably has a much higher hit rate of the being right when he says he wouldn't have done that. Don't take my would have done that as better than the players out there playing them, because that's why they're in the last 8, isn't it?
And there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Just because I wouldn't have done it that way, that doesn't mean it wasn't the right. You know, that wasn't the right way to do it. There's just different things, isn't there? You know, like you can go high risk, high reward, etc., etc.
That, I think, finally will lock this down for Andy now. There's literally not a wood elf that can reach that ball.
And this one's getting
And
fouled
this
anyway.
one's getting stamped on. So I don't know if Olivier will even take an action next turn.
Wow. Andy got the great dice, yeah.
He did, yeah.
That was a dicing. No 2 ways about it. But, you know, he still played well, right? Like, he still played himself out of every situation. It wasn't just the dice, you know. It wasn't just the dice. Like, this is the thing. Some people get offended when you say they got lucky. But, you know, he still has to play well versus Olivier Delac. You could give those dice to somebody else and they lose 2-0 versus Olivier.
One dice goes into. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that after 3 or 4 turns, Andy was in an uncomfortable position, actually. Like, he hadn't
Very uncomfortable.
Started the game with everything going his way. But definitely the dice over the course of the game, and in particular in that first half, favoured Andy. Congratulations to Andy, though. That is a huge result to get in game 1 of the series. Puts Andy in a position where now he knows that in game 2 he only needs the draw to go through. Olivier has to win game 2 to have any chance of continuing in the competition.
Yep. Incredible stuff.
And there we are.